Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, and their twin flame connection. Twins, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official TikTok and Instagram, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Twins, I hope that you're doing well. If you are unsure of what a twin flame journey is, if you're coming to this reading for the first time, or you're looking for a channeled message, welcome. I have included a link to Gabi Kovalenko's explanation of the twin flame dynamic in the description box below. She does a much more in-depth assessment of what the twin flame journey is, but in a nutshell, it's two people who feel that they share the same energetic soul. So one soul in two bodies. And if they reincarnate in the same lifetime, which many twins have at this period in human history, and they meet each other, it can be really intense and passionate and like you've met your person. But then there becomes a runner-chaser dynamic where the connection becomes so intense that it almost breaks, and the two people are separated for a time so that they can be on their own to go through their spiritual ascension and then hopefully come together in union if they so choose. But it's a very harrowing, difficult connection. It's not like with a soulmate. It's not like with a karmic. Twin flame is it's learning how to, it's less about the other person and more about yourself. It's just learning how to love yourself unconditionally. And when you do that, your twin learns how to love themselves unconditionally. It's difficult. I'm a twin flame, and I haven't talked to my twin in many years. I don't know if I'll ever talk to him again, but we visit one another in the astral realm. It's difficult, but I do these readings to help the Twin Flame Collective. So, you know, I just don't want people to feel like they're alone in this, because at one time I felt like I was alone in it. I'm going to be using 3 decks for your reading today, twins. The archetype cards, the psychic tarot and oracle deck, and the wild unknown archetypes for the message from spirit. I'm going to get that card for the overall reading, overall energy, and then I will read from the book at the end. I feel very heavy all of a sudden. I just did a yearly reading for somebody, and I felt like great. Was like amazing. And then somehow the energy feels very weighted, like you have a weighted blanket on. Number 11 from the archetypes deck, and it says the Queen. My goodness, the Queen. Very large moon here, so that channels Pisces and Cancer energy in particular. See this beautiful lotus, which talks about, you know, coming from this place of darkness into light. That's how the lotus flower grows. You can see the snake wrapped around the hand. We are coming into, or we are in, 2025 is the year of the snake. So you could be born in the year of the snake, resonate with that very heavily. The Queen energy represents divine feminine, somebody who knows their power, knows how to wield it, knows how to hang back sometimes to be able to attract things towards them. So right now I feel as though you and your twin are kind of hanging back and kind of enjoying being in your divine feminine. But of course, one should be in divine feminine and one should be in divine masculine, and those energies can flip. So if you're both in your divine feminine, it's kind of like you two aren't like really making moves towards one another at this time. But it's very empowering at the same time. It's very powerful. It's very self-assured. So I feel as though your twin has stepped into another level of consciousness, of spiritual consciousness. Let's get the cards for the underlying energies for the base spread. The first set of cards is going to be your energy. The second set will be your twins. And the third will be the connection. Feel free to flip yours and your twins' energies, as twins often mirror one another. Wow. Okay. This kind of explains why I was feeling the heavy energy. Now I'm going to get the cards from the Psychic Tarot. This is an interesting deck because it's both tarot and oracle kind of combined together. One more. Thank you, Spirit. Extra card came out. Going to show it to you. Number 18, which corresponds to the moon. Shadow. You know, Spirit doesn't make mistakes when I read cards. When I pull cards. When I read cards, who knows? But a beautiful synchronicity. The shadow aspect, it's describing this feeling that I'm picking up on, which is kind of, might have to do with the season, because the season, at least that I'm in right now, is winter time, and it feels kind of insular, that we are, you know, like I said, it's like I felt like there's like a weighted blanket kind of curled up into ourselves, energetically speaking. Kind of don't want to face the world, don't want to talk to other people, trying to figure out everything on our own, or trying to avoid some things that may be creeping up on us that we don't want to look at. Now, have you notice here, right? This is his shadow aspect, but in a way, they're also twins, the light and the dark. Oh, this is intense. Spirit just gave me, you know, not to bring my own personal into this, but like Spirit just reminded me of a memory that I had with my twin. First time we ever went to, on the first date we ever had, we went to an art museum, and I was an art major, but he walked into the museum and we were looking at these sculptures and he knew exactly what they were. And I was like, how do you know more about art than I do? And I got a whole degree in it, right? But he identified the very first sculpture that he identified, which I'm now just remembering, so pardon me if I'm just having a moment, but it was the two gods that were twins, I think. Either they were brothers or they were twins, but I think that they were twins. I can't remember their names, but they were fighting. Spirit's not giving that to me, but they're just flashing me back to that moment where he's like, oh, it's the twins, or like whatever. Yes, it's Romulus and Remus. No, is that what it is? I can't remember the names, but it was something like that. It was like Romulus and Remus. Either they were brothers or they were twins, but they were like closely connected. And it's like just ironic that I'm just now remembering that in a twin flame reading, right? But this is kind of what it reminded me of. I was like, oh, it's like they're brothers. And I was like, wait a minute. So Romulus and Remus might have something, it might be relevant to you. Art, sculpture might be relevant to you at this Maybe you're working on art right now while you're watching this reading. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. You see here, they're both holding on to this kind of metal staff. A little bit like, I feel as though, like, you know that game where you kind of, it's like you're trying to one-up one another a little bit. Competition. We don't want to be in competition with our twin, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. You know, I just saw an old friend that I don't talk to anymore. I think she's engaged, and I'm happy for her, but there was this little shadow piece of me that was like, oh, you know, like, wow, she got engaged and here I am still single. But it's that it brings it all back to being in this connection with your twin, that sometimes it's so overriding that it's difficult for you to move on, right? Can we move on from our twins and be with a soulmate, be with another kind of partner? But it can be difficult for you when you're so closely connected to your twin. So for your energy, I see beggar. Take it as it resonates, and take the, this can be kind of a harsh deck, this Carolyn Mist deck, but just take it with a grain of salt. Just listen to the message and see if it makes sense. The light attributes confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. The shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. It's interesting, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. How much effort are we putting into this connection? To our own lives, I will also say. How much are you manifesting for yourself? Are you focusing on your goals and your dreams? That's of the utmost importance right now. To turn the focus away from our twin for a moment so that we can focus and up-level ourselves. But I feel as though it may be difficult for you right now, and you're kind of, I don't know, you know, looking to others to help you. Maybe you feel at a loss with something here. It's interesting too. I just took a sip of coffee, and there's a cup of coffee there. Covering up the eyes. There's just something that you don't want to see at this time. It's clarified by number 4, authority, which I want to point out to you in this deck. Spirit is right here. They're right here. That was really intense. It's like, you know what it's like when there's this like Geiger counter or frequency counter and somebody turned the dial real harshly, and it was like, whew, like that's what it heard. That's what I heard in my ear just now. It was really, really intense. The number 4, authority, corresponds to the Emperor card, right? So in a sense, I feel like here comes the masculine energy with and also this. The masculine and the feminine. There's this trying, we're trying here. We're trying. And yes, we may feel, water signs, as though we are struggling. Your spirit guides are with you. Please, like, I can't prove it to you, but I just need you to take it as a confirmation, because it's like a confirmation for me. Like, and I'm a water sign, so it's like your spirit guides are watching this. They're seeing this frustration that you're having. It's not about begging, but it is about asking spirit to help you in your empowerment. I do want to point out that the arms are crossed. Unfurl, uncross your arms, open your arms. Open your arms to love from all sources, to spirit, to light. And guess what too? If people offer, thank you, spirit. If people offer, accept. it's not so much of begging, but it's just about being in the space to receive. What else do you want to say, Spirit? It's really intense. What else do you want to say to the water signs? 2 cards. Yeah. Another 4, so that's double 4. Discontent and boredom. It corresponds to the 4 of Cups. You can see how the back is turned away from the castle, the abundance. This card talks about a little bit of apathy. Look at this prism, this rainbow here, being turned away from it for some reason. This could be a difficult time for you in terms of your twin flame connection. Although I don't see it being super difficult in other respects. But it is almost a little bit like there hasn't been a lot of action lately. I have been working on myself, building my abundance, building my finances, building my connections, working on myself, healing myself. When do we get to the exciting part? When do we get to the spark? The Spirit's trying to bring it in for you. It just might be hard to see because you're not looking in the right direction. Came out with a number 5, which is the throat chakra. You ever watched my channel before, and you know that I don't like 5s because 5s are all about transition. But we need to go through this transition process to get anywhere. We need the in-between. We need to understand what the before and after were so we can appreciate the throat chakra here. At the beginning of the reading, I didn't mention it. I'm sure you could probably hear it. Like, my voice was a little froggy. I did feel some blockage in my throat chakra. Not anything big, but there is something that needs to be said. You know, Spirit is now giving me that image, the image that I had in my mind yesterday. I was thinking about, I was doing laundry really late at night last night, and it was really late. It was like midnight. And I was thinking about my twin, and I was thinking, you know, we're not talking right now. Maybe I should write him a letter that I don't send to him, but it's almost like write down my thoughts, get my thoughts out of my head, and then just give it to Spirit to deliver, to get rid of, to heal, whatever. So Spirit is showing me that for you, that it might be good to express yourself, even if you're not expressing, you could be expressing yourself to your twin, but for the people that are in separation, this could be a part of a healing process, to journal it, to meditate on it, to express in meditation, right? There are some really amazing meditations, the twin flame meditations on YouTube. Some of them I watch, or I listen to, and there's this one beautiful one. If I remember to, I'll include it in my description box, but there's this one beautiful one, and the meditation is all about meeting your twin in a clearing, and you both kind of give each other a gift. This is the whole meditation, just imagining that you're walking towards this clearing, and there you meet your twin energetically, and you give each other a gift. So maybe you could be doing something like that, which to write down all your thoughts and feelings, and in meditation give them that gift. Because even if it's harsh, if it's the truth, if it's your truth, it is a gift. What does your twin have? They have addict. Addict. I feel like I pulled this card before for a water sign twin flame reading. The light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. The shadow attributes compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And I will point out to you that this character is pushing back water. I think their love for you is overtaking them. It's overwhelming them. I feel as though the person that I'm talking to, you know, whether you're the runner or the chaser, or whatever you ascribe to right now, you could be just neutral. I mean, this energy feels kind of neutral. Your twin feels like they're drowning. They're drowning in their emotions. They're not expressing themselves. They're not admitting to themselves what is happening, and they're trying to wash it away with some kind of addictive behavior, whether it's alcohol or drugs or overworking, codependence on something, food. It doesn't have to be extreme, because some of those are extreme. It doesn't have to be extreme, but you know, it is avoidant, which is disappointing. It's disappointing to hear, because it's not where anybody really wants to be. Nobody chooses to be an addict, right? But it is clarified by the Four of Swords. Rest and rejuvenate corresponds to the Four of Swords. So here they're trying to kind of back away from distraction. They could be communing with nature right now, which is really beautiful. Highly recommend. Maybe, you know, maybe they're going on a commune or a retreat. I could see that. And in their meditation, they're confronting this, which is difficult. Difficult. You know, and Spirit just said they already have they might have a proclivity to addiction, and you would just be yet another addiction if not looked at properly, which I think it could happen. It could happen. I think my twin and I were kind of addicted to each other, which I think is what scared him. Yeah, number one, awareness. Awareness, look at that. Gorgeous. This feels like magician energy. Really understanding what it is that we're putting out into the world, right? Here it is again with this yellow circle energy. Look, see? There's something to it. Yellow circle energy also references halos. So kind of angelic presence or divine, Spirit said divine intervention. Their spirit guides are with them, your twin. They're appealing to your twin's higher consciousness. Things are breaking open for them right now. I think they're kind of, what I more see is more of an understanding of their own power, like their magician energy. So it's kind of less about the twin flame dynamic and more about what the twin flame dynamic was the catalyst for. Like for me, the catalyst was being able to do this, being able to channel, understanding that I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant, that kind of thing. I didn't really understand that before my twin flame dynamic, and then it was like, whoa, who knew? And so I think that your twin is kind of figuring out what their gifts are, which is very exciting. This is what you want. You want to figure it out for yourself, but you really want your twin to figure it out too. You want your twin to be cognizant and aware and just really understanding their own power, because then whatever sense of powerlessness they feel around you, because ultimately they do feel a sense of powerlessness around you because the pull is so strong. When the pull is so strong, you feel powerless. I'm sure you felt it too. That's what the twin flame dynamic does to us. But when you realize that the dynamic does not have power over you, it empowers you. It doesn't disempower you unless you let it. So I feel as though your twin is kind of slowly figuring that out. Spirit is helping them. Interesting. For the connection, destroyer. The light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. The shadow attributes, intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Now remember, when I was talking here, this is the card. I was talking about competition with, the number 5 can bring up transition. Oh, actually, I don't think I was talking about competition, was I? I was thinking it. Did I say it out loud, Spirit? No, I don't think I did. Maybe I just felt the competition, but this kind of references like when a volcanic explosion, lava, how the lava takes out all life and vegetation, but it creates new terrain, and then the seeds disperse over the lava, and then there is new growth. So it's this sense, for me, the destroyer energy for your connection is all about destroying the ego, destroying the old identities that you both have held on to. Right? And what is so beautifully clarifying this energy is the number 17, which corresponds to the star energy, and it says hope. Right? So all of this kind of halo energy culminating into something. I don't know if you can see, there's like a figure there too. It's like, imagine you and your twin in that clearing, meeting each other energetically, and you giving each other a gift. I give you the fullest of me, and you give me the fullest of you, energetically speaking. The greatest gift you could give your twin is just to be completely and utterly yourself. That's really beautiful. That gives me hope. Let me get a clarifier. Choose wisely. Number 7 corresponds to the 7 of Cups. Being spoiled for choice. Choose wisely. What direction? Sitting at the pier, which direction are we going to go? I do want to point out these two birds traveling together. We could go anywhere. We could travel in any direction. A little bit of waiting for the ships to come in. In the meantime, choose your own direction, They say never wait for your twin. It's so difficult, though. That's the message that I'm getting for you, water signs. Let me read from the book, from the archetypes, the wild unknown archetypes. The Queen. The Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the King is in the ego, the Queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom The dancers bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. That's your reading, twins. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, twins.